President appoints Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate the report on the central bank bond issue. MP Bimal Ratnayaka raises a privilege issue in Parliament on summons issued to COPE members by court. Civil organizations expressed their dismay over Arjuna Mahendran continuing to be involved with finance ministry matters. Metallic hydrogen, once a theory, becomes reality. Over 100 millimeters of rain across many areas in the island.
A very good evening to you. You're watching Prime Time News on News First. I'm Saturang Hapuarati.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Let's start off with your top story for tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena has appointed a Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate and report on the central bank bond issue.
In a tweet, President Sirisena said Supreme Court judges K.T. Chitrasiri and P.S. Jayawardena, as well as retired Deputy Auditor General K. Velupillai, have been appointed to this commission. Justice Chitrasiri began his career in the legal profession as an attorney at law in March 1977 and then joined the Legal Draftsman's Department as an assistant legal draftman. In 2009, he was appointed to the Court of Appeal. Justice Chitrasiri served as a Supreme Court judge since December 2015 and is well conversant in commercial law. P.S. Jayawardena served as a Supreme Court judge since June 2016 and is well known for his expertise in the law related to the fields of commercial, banking and intellectual property. He is extremely experienced following his role at an international commercial bank for many years. K. Velupillai, a retired Deputy Auditor General, served in the Auditor General's Department for many years and is a highly respected individual. The three-member committee appointed by President Maithripala Sirisena is to submit a report on its findings within 3 months.
The question that had led to many debates is, following his removal from the post of Governor of the Central Bank, does Arjuna Mahendran hold any state position? The Anti-Corruption Front charges that he is holding positions and attends Finance Ministry meetings and also advises the present Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Last evening, the Finance Minister himself responded to these allegations.
If the Prime Minister makes the call, we will definitely have to bring anyone. You are trying to create an issue here. You say that such a person has been appointed, but we say no. But if the Prime Minister or the President sends us someone, there is no issue in them attending the meeting. I was asked if I made an appointment, and I said no. As far as I am aware, the President did not invite him. The President removed him. Do you know whether this person called Arjuna Mahendran is travelling with the Prime Minister to attend meetings and other tasks? I have seen him at several places. I am not well aware of that. My job is not to look into where other people are going. The government has failed to clarify whether Arjuna Mahendran holds a government position or not. We continuously see the media being intimidated. Persons like Malik Samar Vikrama are not aware of what took place on the 8th of January movement. They came out of nowhere. They were not involved in public movements. They are trying to destroy the 8th of January conversion. The government and the Prime Minister must respond. Who is speaking the truth?
JVP parliamentarian Bimal Ratnayaka says that MPs have been informed to appear in court with regard to the petition filed by the Supreme Court over the COPE report on the Treasury bond scam. He claims that this is a breach of parliamentary privileges.
In a case filed with the Supreme Court relating to MPs who took part in COPE regarding the bond issue, we have been made the accused. We received the copies yesterday. This is a matter relating to conscience.
Please allow me to speak. Then you can answer no.
No, they are talking on behalf of all members of the COPE.
This is an issue in Parliament. Are you acting as the leader of the House? I am speaking with the permission of the Speaker. Please come and listen to me.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, so we'll. I take action on that.
Bimal Ratnayaka මැතිතුමාට එතුමා
As an MP, Bimal Ratnayaka can raise a privilege question in Parliament, but he is not speaking on behalf of us. He cannot speak on behalf of COPE. If he is speaking on behalf of COPE, MP Handunnethi must consult us first and then speak. So if the courts can have an influence on Parliament with regard to parliamentary matters, I believe that to be a violation of privileges. We are not afraid to appear for any case. This is an attempt to protect the rogues through the violation of parliamentary privileges. When the Supreme Court issues a summon naming an MP who committed a task as a respondent, should that MP comply with that? Or can they be made respondent to accept the view of this country, and the Supreme Court cannot inquire or decide on the right of the Parliament under parliamentary rights and privileges?
Does not want to go to the Supreme Court. He can wait it on point. Okay.
I think former Speaker Andrew Bandaranaike made a decision on that. You must look into that. This is why I said I will have to look into that.
Malik Samaravikrama, the Minister of Development Strategies and International Trade, issued a statement yesterday claiming that the statement made by Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne regarding the Horana tyre factory was incorrect. Dr. Rajitha Senaratne responded to this claim today.
At the recent media briefing to announce cabinet decisions, Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne announced that the Prime Minister was not aware of the investor for the Horana tyre factory project before the inauguration. Minister Malik Samaravikrama, noting that the statement was incorrect, also said in a statement that the Prime Minister was well aware of the investor. The President will call for a meeting on the matter in the coming week. The truth will be revealed then.
On to a developing story this evening. The Anti-Corruption Front has questioned the Secretary to the Ministry of Development Strategies and International Trade on the basis which an institute known as the Agency for Development was established. In a letter addressed to the Ministry Secretary, the Anti-Corruption Front requests for an explanation with regard to the designation given to an individual named Mangalayapa at the Agency for Development.
The Anti-Corruption Front charges that the institute known as the Agency for Development, which is located on the 25th floor of the West Tower of the World Trade Center, has not been established legally. In the letter addressed to the Secretary of the Ministry of Development Strategies and International Trade, Chandani Vijayawardena, Chairman of the Front, Venerable Ulapane Sumangala Thero, points out that the staff appointed to the agency in question has not been approved in an official capacity. The letter requests an explanation for the basis for which building premises, electricity, water and other facilities and human resources were allocated for the managing director designate of an institute that was rejected by 8 provincial councils. The letter also requests for a justification as to how an individual named Mangalayapa is able to participate in meetings of the ministry. Meanwhile, Newsfirst is in possession of a number of letters where Mangalayapa has intervened in a number of transactions in the capacity of managing director designate of the Agency for Development, involving the handing over of the Hambantota port to a Chinese company. Among the documents in our possession is the letter issued by the Committee of Secretaries to obtain recommendations from the Cabinet Committee on Economic Management with regard to the transactions of the Hambantota port. In the letter, it is mentioned that Mangalayapa, who has been named as the Managing Director Designate of the Agency for Development, has been involved in the activities of the Committee of Secretaries. A letter issued on the 5th of December 2016 on a letterhead of the Prime Minister's office and bearing the signature of the Secretary to the Prime Minister mentions that Mangalayapa has been instructed to obtain legal advice from a private firm over the Hambantota port transaction. In addition, a letter issued on the 3rd of October 2016 by the China Harbour Engineering Company Limited with regard to the same matter refers to Mangalayapa as the Managing Director Designate of the Agency for Development.
Has a development agency been established? Have officials been appointed to it? Are you aware of this?
An Agency for Development has not been approved by Parliament as yet.
Was a proposal for this institute presented to Cabinet? Was it approved?
No. A cabinet proposal was submitted regarding such an institute, but it has to be resubmitted with amendments. The amended proposal is yet to be presented.
President Maithripala Sirisena, speaking at an event in Ananda College, Colombo today, elaborated on his plan to increase the forest cover in the country to 32%.
President Maithripala Sirisena graced the ceremony to launch a project of biogas, compost fertilizer, green farm and solar power carried out under the program initiated by Ananda College, Colombo today. Awards were presented to those involved in the Harita Udana program.
If I were to reside in the presidential palace in Fort, the monthly expenditure would exceed 15 million rupees, including water and electricity. Though I am not residing there, at present around 2.5 million to 3 million rupees is spent for electricity at the presidential palace. There is no one there. Around 2 million is spent for the basement palace at the presidential palace because it needs to be air conditioned 24 hours a day and it requires electricity. The students here are aware that the forest density is around 27% to 28%. As the Minister of Environment, my plan is to increase the forest density to 32% in 4 years. I have deployed the 3 armed forces for the environment conservations. Twice a week, the Sri Lankan Air Force does an aerial inspection on forests from above. It is monitored by satellites and helicopters.
The National Quality Award Ceremony 2016, organised by the Sri Lanka Standards Institution, affiliated to the Ministry of Science, Technology and Research, was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena in Colombo today.
When looking at the awards on quality given to production and research institutions and focusing attention on various sectors, I think it is timely that a panel of judges be appointed to give a quality award for politicians. The people are hoping for a program that would present awards taking into account the quality of politicians. A panel of judges must be appointed for this purpose. The Ministry of Labour must create a panel for the working people, because the responsibility in this regard comes from there.
A public rally organised by the joint opposition was held in Nugegoda today.
Arjun Mahendran is Charlie Mahendran's son. Charlie Mahendran was an ambassador from 2001 to 2004 to the United States. His son is Arjun Mahendran. Arjun Mahendran is Ranil's left hand. That is why Ranil Wickremesinghe got hold of the central bank at the earliest possible time and appointed Arjun Mahendran and robbed billions of rupees.
Arjun Mahendra Patkala Koti Prokodi Gana Koragan Kenwi.
Before this bond matter, all of you went to this Bank of Ceylon and asked for a loan at an interest rate of 9% or 9.5%. At present, the Bank of Ceylon is asking loans from the people by issuing debentures at an interest rate of 13.25% to save the Bank of Ceylon.
Meanwhile, Newsfirst cameras captured the following footage at the rally.
අපිත් එක්ක හැමදාමත් වගේම වාමහස්තික ව්‍යාපාරයේ අපේ ආදරණීය නායකතුමන් කිව්වා මැතිතුමාට රටේ ආර්ථිකයෙන් හැදෙච්ච මේක පාරදිගේ
Meanwhile, various views were expressed regarding the joint opposition meeting that was held today.
The political destitutes are trying to use the former president and are trying to build up their own political surrounding. I'm very disappointed about the fact that the former president is dancing to the tunes of a few people.
Choose the goal face ground. Come there and show us the number of people. If you can fill that, then we will accept that they are capable. We are having a meeting at the Campbell Park. Then we will show 10 times more people. They said that ministers representing the SLFP will come in line and get onto the stage at the meeting. There won't be a single minister, except for those few people. People accepted by the nation, and those who love the SLFP will not go there. We do not agree to the attempt to split the SLFP and weaken it. There will be around 50,000 people gathering at the Nugegoda junction because of the traffic. When I was travelling, I saw 3 buses. They were half filled. The people in the buses had consumed alcohol. You cannot topple governments after having meetings. There was a rally from Kandy to Colombo. We saw Namal Rajapaksa dancing during that rally. All the bars that were long were emptied. There was no other result.
They are bringing people for no use, screaming and collecting people to such a small place like Nugegoda because they are looking for a way to hold on to their group. They barely managed for 2 years. When the third year started, one by one, they are falling off.
Today we saw the President nominate 3 eminent personalities for the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to look into the bond scam.
Yes.
Do you think that this is the way to go?
I stand by that decision, and then that's the right decision. Because the thing is, COPE report is just a report prepared by COPE committee, but you can't just convert the COPE report into evidence. That is the difficulty. You need evidence to file civil or criminal action in courts. In the Presidential Commission, it's a General Presidential Commission. This has been, this committee has been appointed by His Excellency the President with a warrant and with some mandate. So then within 3 months, they have to submit the report, and they can call all the witnesses, and they can get the support from resource persons, right? And then these, if a person give evidence before a commission, right, this is admissible. So then straight away you can use all these evidence to file cases or the frame charge sheet.
Few months, the word central bank governor became quite a catchphrase in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Auditor General has also become a fashionable phrase. He has come under criticism, then he has been commended by the President. We saw that happening yesterday.
Auditor General is not there to submit the report the way some politician or some minister wants. He is there to submit independent report to the Parliament.
Welcome back to the news. The Department of Meteorology says that the rainy weather condition will continue in the coming days as well. Several areas were affected by the heavy rainfall, while reservoirs and tanks have reached spill level.
The Department of Meteorology adds that certain areas could expect rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters. The Monragala district, which was badly affected by the drought over the past 3 months, is experiencing rainfall. Residents in the area say that several reservoirs have started overflowing along with incessant rains experienced in the Monragala area. Vehicular movement was hampered for almost 15 hours along the Monragala-Dalivela main road. Meanwhile, showers were experienced in the Anuradhapura district. Several agrarian tanks, including the Nochiyagama tank, have reached spill level. Several by-roads were submerged in the Galle district, along with rain being experienced since this morning in the area. Except for the Senanayaka Samudre, all other reservoirs in the Ampara district have seen a spike in water levels. Our correspondent reported that spill gates of the Konduwatuvanu reservoir have been opened. Several cultivations were inundated as a result of heavy downpour in the Ampara district. Around 20 houses in the Kantale town were inundated for over 2 days as a result of heavy rains. Several tanks, including the Kantale tank, have reached spill level.
The special commodities levy imposed on a kilogram of imported rice will be reduced from 15 rupees to 5 rupees with effect from midnight today. A communique issued by the Finance Ministry says that this decision was taken based on the instructions of the President and the Prime Minister. This reduction in tax is being done with the aim of providing relief to the general public and includes a reduction in tax for imported red kakulu, nadu and samba rice. Still on local news, the Ministry of Education has suspended the services of 7 officials over alleged malpractices said to have taken place when enrolling students to grade 1 at Royal College, Colombo.
The ministry said that the decision was taken following the findings of the Special Investigations Committee appointed by Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam, which probed into the alleged malpractices said to have taken place in grade 1 admissions. 3 people in the main interview board at Royal College Colombo and 4 persons from the appeal board have thus been suspended. Among them are the principal of Dharmaloka College Kelaniya and deputy principal of St. Paul's Girls' School Milagiriya. The others who were suspended are a deputy principal, an assistant principal and a teacher of Royal College Colombo. In addition, a labourer attached to the school has also been suspended for submitting fake documents to enrol his child to Royal College Colombo. The Ministry of Education went on to say that it had received complaints about another 15 schools and those cases will also be investigated.
Rather interesting story for our science enthusiasts. This is a story of gas acting in a way it shouldn't. For the first time, physicists from the Harvard University turned hydrogen into metal. It proves a concept that was first predicted over 80 years ago by physicists who won the Nobel Prize for their work.
The research team tested the hydrogen's metallic properties by shining a light on the sample and measuring how refractive it was. Although they can't tell if the cold, condensed hydrogen was a liquid or solid, low-energy laser beams bounced back like the scientists would expect them to if the surface was metal.
Hydrogen is the simplest atom in the periodic table of the elements. It consists of a single proton with a single electron around it. At room temperature, it exists as a gas. But if you cool hydrogen down to low temperatures, it actually liquefies. And if I cool it to about just under 14 degrees, it forms a solid. Imagine my fingers are molecules here with the 2 atoms. If you compress it to a high enough density, eventually you will get to a pressure or a density where the molecules dissociate and it forms an atomic solid. And this is a metal.
To make the metallic hydrogen, Silvera and his colleague Sri Lankan-born Rangadayas used an apparatus called a diamond unveil cell, which, as its name suggests, uses diamonds to apply pressure to chemical samples.
You have 2 diamonds sitting opposite to each other inside here. We load the sample as a liquid state, but as soon as you pressurize it, molecules get closer together, it becomes a solid, and then we are squeezing the solid. And even though this device looks very small, we can generate pressure more than the center of Earth.
Silvera thinks that because of the way molecules rearrange themselves in metallic hydrogen, there's a possibility that when warmed up again, it could maintain its structure and be a superconductor. Superconductors can transport electricity without losing any energy, but have only existed at very low temperatures so far, making them impractical for most users, since keeping things that cold requires a lot of energy. In the near future, Silvera plans to conduct research to figure out if, in fact, metallic hydrogen is a room temperature superconductor.
An event titled Triumph Through Turbulence in 2017 to discuss the economic outlook and its implication of new US President Donald Trump on the global economy and Sri Lanka was held in Colombo yesterday.
In the 21st century, we are heading into a geopolitically contentious world. So the real pressure on the presidency was to create a system, a global set of rules of regulation of trade that could undermine the World Trade Organization. So that is why it's no surprise that TPP does not include China, India or Indonesia. Right? It was very much, it's not by accident, it's by creation. For us as Sri Lankans, the prosperity of India and China are equally important. The last thing we want is to get entangled in a situation where India and China is kind of having tensions and the US kind of driving there.
The International Conference on Advanced Marketing under the theme Marketing for Next Generation commenced in Colombo yesterday.
The two-day conference is organized by the University of California together with the International Institute of Knowledge Management. The keynote speech was delivered by service marketing guru Professor A. Palasudhaman.
Providing rapid service, because that's an important attribute for your target market. Then you prepare the customer.
The International Conference on Advanced Marketing 2017 was attended by the scientific and corporate community. The two-day conference will provide an opportunity to broaden view on the subject and adaptability in digital era. This will also help the participants to learn the approaches for better marketing management.
And on sports news, we have Shalan Benedict joining us here from the studio. Shalan, it was all good news yesterday. I think today will be also a good day for Sri Lankan cricket fans.
Yes, hopefully, Chatu. And from the sports desk here, Upul Tharanga will captain Sri Lanka in the one-day international series against South Africa in the absence of Angelo Matthews. Sri Lanka Cricket announced the 16-member squad for the ODI series against the Proteas. The squad includes Sadun Virakodi, Lahiru Madhushankar and Vikum Sanjaya, who are yet to make their international debuts. Sri Lankan cricketers responded to fans' questions over their T20 series win over the Proteas via the SLC Facebook page.
Newcomers like Niroshan Dikbal and Lakshan Sandakan as well as Asela Gunaratna performed well. The senior players like Luan Kulasekar, Upul Tharanga, Sudanga Lakmal and Sikuge Prasanna performed exceptionally well. We lost the test series 3-0. All the players wanted to somehow win the T20 series. Everyone played well. I know the fans always want us to win. Therefore, I think the fans were always with us even though we lost the test series to the Proteas. As a team, after we won the second match, we were sure that we will be able to win the third game as well. We played as a team and secured the win. I'm pleased to have won the Man of the Series award. This is not a personal victory but a team victory. With this win, we hope that we can win the rest of the games for the country.
And that's the wrap for Primetime News. For the News First team, I'm Rahna Farooq.
I'm Saturanga Tuarachi. Take care.